everybody. This is Panda Maru Draws here again, and today I did a gouache study. So I decided to do an underpainting first because I had never done one before and I thought it would look really cool. But I did a warm pink and a cool pink, so spoiler alert, you're not really going to be able to see a big difference at the end. For the actual drawing, I just did two of the same pictures. It's the S support for Byleth and Felix at the end of Fire Emblem Engage, and I drew it once, I didn't like it, so I drew it again, and then since they were already in little boxes, I said, well, I think I'll just paint them. The paint I used was a combination of Talon's Art Creation, I do believe. It's the same company that does Rembrandt, Van Gogh, and then I think it's Talon's Art Creation. And then the other gouache that I used was Turner's. And then I think I used a couple of whole line gouaches that I had from my art school days, but it was primarily Talon's and Turner. I am not the best when it comes to gouache. I have done a handful of gouache paintings in my artistic journey, but it is a medium that I am very interested in and very fascinated with, and I think that I want to continue to pursue it, especially because I do a lot of illustrative work and I do like the flat predictability of gouache. I love watercolor, but sometimes you need to know that it's going to look the same every time, and I think one of the beauties of watercolor is the unpredictability of it, but I was not in the mood for that. I did this in my Midori cotton A5 sketchbook, which is, as I just stated, made of cotton, but the pages are very thin, and I'm sure you can already see all the buckling that was already happening, and that was immediately. As soon as I put the first wash on, it was like, oh no. So it was a real uphill battle, but it's a sketchbook painting. It's just, for practice. So I tried not to let that bother me. This is me trying to mix skin tones. You guys, look at that. I've never really been the best at mixing skin tones, but with gouache, it's a whole new added factor because you have to add white to things usually. And that kind of muddies it. I don't know. I don't think I did a very good job with any of the skin tones. There were a lot of mistakes were made, but I'm still happy with it overall. I'm still glad that I did it. I just, it's hard sometimes when you have to watch these things back, and you're just, because obviously, I recorded this in the past, so I'm like, oh, I should have did this, I should have did that. But I think being able to look at your past mistakes and grow is part of being an artist. Not a fun part, but part of being an artist. So yeah, while you're watching me paint, I just want to talk about my love for Fire Emblem. The first Fire Emblem game I ever played was Sacred Stones on the Game Boy Advance. I played the DS ones. I didn't like them because they were ugly. And then the 3DS ones came out, particularly Awakening, and it lit a fire in me like you wouldn't believe. Now, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, the new one has come out, Engage. Not a fan. And you know what's sad about it? Fire Emblem storylines are usually never very good, so I came in with no expectations, and yet they still disappointed me. I'm not going to complain too much because I mean, even if the story's bad, it's still Fire Emblem. I'm still getting to play chess with, hot anime people, but it's just disappointing because at best, I have another 3 years I have to wait for another Fire Emblem game to come out, I don't know. And then I bought the DLC and I regret it. It was not. Everybody told me it wasn't worth it, but I'm hard-headed. But I'm telling you, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. So I did use my Nintendo points though, so instead of it being $30, it was only a cool, I think, $23. But still, you know, like I could have used those Nintendo points to get something else that I don't need. I don't know. Anyway, I am thinking about starting some kind of series called We've Got Art Supplies at Home, where I try to stop buying so many gosh darn art supplies and just use the ones I have and be happy. Oh yeah, the Holbein green was completely dried out and I was very upset, but I'm still using it, you guys. Like, I just have a chunk of it in my little butcher plate. It's gonna get used. They made me buy an 18 set of that very expensive Holbein gouache, and I used it for 2 paintings. Two. That's one of the things that I don't like about, well, I mean, college period, but like the art programs, is they will swear up and down that you need to get this, that, and the other, and then you will use it for 1 project, 2 project. Like, at least tell me that so I can at least get together with some classmates and say, hey, if you buy this, I'll buy that. If you do this, I'll do that, kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is ridiculous. I'm not made out of money, and I feel like a lot of the teachers, well, maybe not a lot, but some of the teachers are so out of touch. Like, I remember my figure drawing teacher came out with the brave statement of him saying to us, you know, I know you guys like your independence and stuff, but I think maybe some of you guys need to move back in with your parents because you're out here working instead of focusing on your studies. And I just busted out laughing. I was like, hey, raise your hands if you live with your parents and you also have a job. And it was like almost the whole room. Like, what are you talking about? That was the same teacher that was like, hey, what's that art thing in Japan? And we were like, manga? And he was like, yeah, I think that's really gonna take off. But so yeah, once again, not the best at color mixing. I'm really trying to get better. It's I don't know, it's hard, and I feel like no matter what, I never mix the proper amount. I either mix like way too much or way too little. And then with gouache, I have the extra problem of, like, with watercolor, I don't know why, but I don't feel bad like wiping away like my palette and cleaning it up. But with gouache, I'm like, no, we have to use every single bit of this. So then at the end, or not even at the end, in the middle, I don't have any more room because I have these huge like puddles of these mixed up colors. I don't know, it's just a mess, and I'm sure that because of it, my already not that great gouache paintings are getting muddy. But I'm trying. I'm out here trying. This was actually the first gouache painting I've ever done that wasn't of like nature or like abstract things. I've never did, I don't know if this necessarily counts as portraiture, but I've never did people. So I leveled my expectations, but I was still a little disappointed. My goal with this was, 1, to do the underpaintings to see if it made a difference, but 2, to like do a gouache painting where I didn't have to go in afterwards and, like, you know, add to it with like colored pencils or other things. And I mean, I guess I could have just stopped, but it looked incomplete, so I did in the end go in and add extra things with colored pencils and stuff like that. But I'm not disappointed. I just, you know, sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to. That's all. And I'm trying to not be so hard on myself when it comes to these kinds of things. Like, even if it's not what I wanted, even if it's not perfect, it's still experience. It's still muscle memory. It's still experience. I remember when I first started painting, just like wielding the paintbrush felt so weird to me, and I was so bad at it. And now I primarily only use like flat brushes and filberts. I do have like a set of tiny like detail brushes that Tuna Snacks, Art by Tuna. I don't think her name Tuna Snacks, is it? It's Art by Tuna on YouTube that she suggested to get, and they really have been really good. Oh, here I am going in with my I almost said Arteza. They're not Arteza. Prismacolor pencils. I don't know why I said Arteza. I don't think I own one Arteza product. But with my Prismacolors, just to like, you know, do a little shading, a little blending. I probably could have kept going, but once again, like I said, the paper was already so buckled that I just, at that point, I was like, I think it's time to stop. Another thing that I've noticed, and this is another little bit of a side tangent, but I started doing the 100 heads challenge, and I had to stop because of my back injury. I know you guys are tired of hearing about it, but because I think I got like 35 in, and because I did so many, I noticed that consistently, I don't give people enough forehead. And I'm looking at Felix right now. Felix especially, I mean both of them, but Felix especially, he does not have enough forehead. I don't know why I do that, but now that I know, well, I've been noticing ever since I did the 35 heads, but still haven't corrected it. Like, it's like I know my destination, but I'm just not there. But I do want to get better at that, and I don't know, I think because, you know, I have been doing not as much drawing as I want, but a bit of drawing that, just looking back on things that I did just like a week or two ago, I'm just like, I don't want, no. But I also think that art is not about how good or bad it looks, but about the creativity and the experience. And honestly, I've just been having a lot of fun just like drawing these little S supports. I've done like a few, I'm gonna do a few more, and I think I'm gonna start doing like expression sheets with characters, and then once I kind of get better at the expressions, go into like making up my own characters. I've never really done that outside of when I was a teenager. Like once I started drawing again, I kind of was just like, well, I'm gonna be like a commercial illustrator, so I don't really need to. But now that I think about it, what am I gonna show them in my portfolio then? Just free domain stuff. So yeah, that's the thing. You know what? I hadn't thought about that. I'm gonna have to go through my portfolio and really see what's in it. I mean, the good thing about art school is they usually don't let you draw fan art because they want to use it, and you know they can't use other people's intellectual property, so they usually don't let you do fan art. And if they know, a lot of people, in at least where I went to school, did fan art, and the teacher and the directors were just unaware that it was fan art, and I ain't no snitch. I didn't tell. That's on y'all. I don't care. Do it. I mean, a lot of it was really good too. But just stuff like that. Once again, thank you everybody for coming to my channel. We're at 75 subscribers, you guys. I know that doesn't, you know, compared to like big YouTubers, that doesn't seem like a lot, but if there were 75 people looking at my art and saying, I want to come back and look at your art, like in the room, I would scream. And as a gift for my lovely 75 subscribers, here you can have some of that good washi tape peeling that I know you guys are all crazy about. So this is it. This is the finished piece. You know, it's not the best, but I'm really glad I did it. I haven't worked a ton with gouache. I've done a couple of things here and there. So you know, I'm still at the early stages of it, but it was fun to do. And I'm proud that I did it. And if you guys have any tips on what to do to help get better, make it smoother, I'd love to hear them. This is my first time doing an underpainting, and I did pink because I thought it would be cute, and I think I was right. This one is warm and this one's cool. I'm not sure how much you can really tell, and I think if I do something like this again where it's more detailed stuff, I'll use a paper that's more suited for the medium, because as much as I love this bad boy, the pages are very, very, very thin, and you can see how badly it buckled, and it buckled like with the first layer, so it was an uphill battle, but I'm pretty happy with it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. Tell me your favorite Fire Emblem pairing, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.